Hey, it's 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning here in Brooklyn. I'm getting up early to go watch Ireland play France in the Euros. To everyone who's been watching the vlog and tuning in every Sunday, first of all, thank you. It's made it a really cool, fun process. And I owe you guys an apology. I've taken a few weeks off, had some family visit, I had a busy few weeks, and a few commitments.
We now return to your regular programming.
The first job was to get this giant chunk of ash out of the apartment and to the wood shop so I could cut it into thin strips for the new chair prototypes that I'm going to be making. I used the bandsaw to cut the ash into 3-inch strips and then ran all the pieces through the jointer to get the edges at 90 degrees. Once these pieces were all through, I used the bandsaw again to cut the strips at a little under 1/4 of an inch. I then used the planer to finish the strips off. Once I finished cutting the strips, I went back to the bows that I've been working on for my current chair. I fed all 4 bows through the planer multiple times to get them down to the 2.5-inch thickness that I need for the chair. I marked a line 2 inches from the bottom of each bow and then masking taped off above the line. This gave me a 2-inch by 2.5-inch zone to create the glue joint between the 2 bows. I then clamped all 4 bows together and let them dry overnight. Once the bows had dried, I marked where I wanted the bottom of each foot to be. I then used the bandsaw to trim as close to that line as possible. If this was a production chair, I'd make a custom crosscut sled and finish the feet on the table saw. But as the chair is only a prototype, I decided to quickly finish the feet on the disc sander. The final pieces to finish the frame are the 2 cross beams. The front cross beam is a rectangular piece and I decided to join it to the bows with a half lap joint on each side. To make the half lap joint, I set up the cross-cut sled to take about a 1/4 inch cut through the beam. I then flipped the piece 90 degrees on the vertical jig and raised the blade high enough to cut the rest of the joint. I then did the same procedure for the rear cross beam, which is a 1-inch dowel. It was a little bit more difficult obviously because it's a circular piece. So here you can get an idea of what the final frame is going to look like before the seat is put on. The reason that the front cross beam is a rectangular piece is that it provides the lateral stability for the chair. It's also much less visible as it hides under the lip of the seat. The rear cross beam, on the other hand, if you view the chair from behind, it's much more visible, and that's why I've chosen a lighter circular dowel.